people eating breakfast every morning are actively slowing their muscle growth, and they have no idea. Eggs and oatmeal look like the right choice, but one of them is quietly working against you depending on when and how you eat it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one wins, and the answer is going to make you rethink everything you've been doing before 9 a.m. Most people frame this debate wrong. They ask, which one has more protein? And they stop there. But that's like asking which car is faster without checking if either one has gas in the tank. The real question isn't just about protein grams. It's about what your body actually does with what you eat, and when. Because two foods can have similar numbers on paper and produce completely different results inside your muscles. Here's what the science actually measures. Muscle protein synthesis. That's the biological process that literally builds new muscle tissue. And the difference between eggs and oatmeal in this department is not small. Same breakfast, completely different body. The difference is what's happening at the cellular level. Oatmeal gives you roughly 5 grams of protein per half-cup serving. Eggs give you about 6 grams per egg, and most people eat 2 or 3. But the protein count alone doesn't tell the full story. What matters is the amino acid profile. Specifically, whether that protein contains all 9 essential amino acids your body cannot produce on its own. Eggs are a complete protein. Oatmeal is not. That's the first layer of this answer. But here's what almost nobody talks about. There's a specific component inside the egg that multiplies muscle protein synthesis beyond what the protein alone can explain. I'll get to that in a moment. Before you write off oatmeal, let's be honest about what it brings to the table, because dismissing it entirely would be a mistake. Oatmeal is not a muscle builder in the direct sense, but it is a muscle protector and a performance enhancer. Here's why that matters. You don't just build muscle in the gym, you build it in the hours after. And oatmeal plays a role most people completely ignore. Oatmeal contains beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that slows glucose absorption in your bloodstream. What that means practically, instead of a sharp insulin spike followed by a crash, you get a slow, sustained release of energy that keeps you fueled for 3 to 4 hours. For a morning training session, that's not a small thing. That's the difference between a focused, high-output workout and one where you're running on empty by the second set. There's more. Beta-glucan also supports post-exercise recovery by reducing inflammation markers in the body. After a hard training session, your muscles are inflamed. That's normal, but chronic unmanaged inflammation slows recovery. Oatmeal's antioxidant compounds, including abenanthramides, help bring that inflammation down faster. Oatmeal doesn't build muscle, but it builds the conditions where muscle can grow. That's a different conversation. And oatmeal supports glycogen replenishment, the process of refilling your muscles' energy stores after training. If you train in the morning and eat oatmeal beforehand, you're going in with full fuel. If you train after and eat oatmeal after, you're recovering faster. So if oatmeal does all of this, why do eggs still win the muscle-building debate? The answer comes down to something discovered in a 2017 study that changed how researchers think about breakfast protein entirely. We'll get there. Here's where most people get it wrong, and where the fitness industry has been lying to you for decades. For years, the advice was, eat egg whites, throw away the yolk. The yolk has cholesterol. Cholesterol is bad. End of story. Except that story was never true. The part of the egg you were told to throw away is the part that actually builds muscle. Let that sink in. A landmark study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition compared 2 groups of men doing resistance training. One group ate whole eggs after their workouts. The other group ate an equivalent amount of protein from egg whites only. Same protein, same training, different results. The whole egg group showed significantly greater muscle protein synthesis, not slightly greater, significantly. The researchers found that the yolk's non-protein components, specifically the lipids, vitamins, and a compound called phosphatidic acid, were activating a muscle-building pathway called mTORCin at a level that egg whites simply couldn't match. And what about the cholesterol concern? Current nutritional science is clear. Dietary cholesterol from whole foods like eggs has minimal impact on blood cholesterol levels for the vast majority of healthy people. What raises your bad cholesterol is saturated fat and trans fat, not the cholesterol in your food. The American Heart Association updated its guidelines on this. The fear of egg yolks was built on outdated science. There's one more layer here. Egg yolks contain vitamin D and dietary cholesterol, both of which are precursors to testosterone production. One study found that men eating 3 whole eggs daily for 12 weeks had measurably higher testosterone levels than those eating only egg whites. Higher testosterone means better muscle building environment, faster recovery, and more strength output over time. We've established that oatmeal fuels performance and eggs build muscle at the cellular level. But here's the question nobody has answered yet. What if you're eating both and still not getting results? Because there's a timing and combination factor that most people completely miss. And that's exactly what we're getting into right now. There's a concept in sports nutrition called the leucine threshold. Leucine is one of the 3 branched chain amino acids, and it acts as the primary trigger for muscle protein synthesis. Think of it as the key that starts the engine. You can eat protein all day. If you don't hit the leucine threshold, the muscle building signal never fires. To maximally stimulate muscle protein synthesis in a single meal, research suggests you need approximately 2 to 3 grams of leucine. 2 whole eggs give you roughly 1 gram of leucine. 3 eggs gets you close to 1.5 grams. To hit the full threshold from eggs alone, you're looking at 4 to 5 whole eggs. Or you combine eggs with another leucine source. Oatmeal? It contains leucine, but in very small amounts. A full cup of cooked oatmeal gives you less than 0.5 grams. On its own, it doesn't come close to triggering the threshold. This is where the combination strategy becomes powerful, and where most people leave serious gains on the table by treating this as an either-or decision. Real talk. Are you team eggs, team oatmeal, or do you eat both? Drop it in the comments right now. I want to see how you're currently building your breakfast. And if you've been throwing away your yolks, let me know that too. No judgment. We've all been there. You're not choosing between 2 breakfasts. You're choosing between 2 different biological outcomes. By the way, if you want to know the exact meal timing strategy that maximizes muscle protein synthesis throughout the entire day, not just breakfast, I have a complete breakdown in my nutrition timing series. Check it out after this video. It takes everything you're learning here and builds it into a full daily system. Here's the answer most videos never give you. The winner of this debate isn't eggs. It isn't oatmeal. It's both, eaten together, strategically. The question was never eggs or oatmeal. It was always eggs and oatmeal. And the order matters. A breakfast of 3 whole eggs combined with half a cup of dry oatmeal gives you approximately 24 to 26 grams of complete protein, a full leucine threshold trigger, sustained energy from complex carbohydrates, beta-glucan for inflammation control, and the yolk's mTORC1 activating compounds, all for under $1, depending on where you live. That combination outperforms most protein shakes in terms of real food nutrient density. And it costs less than a cup of coffee at any chain. You don't need to eat this every single morning. Pick 3 to 4 days a week where this is your go-to, and rotate based on your schedule and training days. The goal is consistency, not perfection. $1, 3 eggs, half a cup of oats. That's the most underrated muscle-building breakfast in existence. We've covered the science of why whole eggs beat egg whites, why oatmeal isn't the enemy, and why the combination wins. But there are 2 things left that most people never consider, and they could be the exact reason your breakfast isn't working the way it should. Don't go anywhere. The same breakfast eaten at different times produces different results. This isn't bro science. This is chronobiology, the study of how your body's biological clock affects nutrient processing. If you train in the morning, eat your oatmeal 60 to 90 minutes before your session. The complex carbs will be partially digested and available as fuel when you need them. Then eat your eggs within 30 to 45 minutes after training. That's when your muscles are most sensitive to amino acids and the muscle protein synthesis signal is at its peak. If you train in the evening, flip it. Eggs in the morning give you a sustained amino acid release throughout the day. Oatmeal before your evening session fuels your workout. And a small egg-based meal after training, even just 2 eggs, keeps the muscle building signal active while you sleep. You're either building muscle while you sleep or you're wasting 8 hours. The difference is what you ate and when. Here's something almost nobody talks about. The anabolic window, the idea that you must eat protein within 30 minutes of training, is largely overstated for most people. What matters more is total daily protein intake and hitting your leucine threshold at each meal. That said, eating protein within 2 hours of training is still a smart practice. Don't stress the exact minute, but don't skip the post-workout meal either. And there's one more mistake people make with this breakfast that silently kills their results. And it has nothing to do with the food itself. That's the last point. This is the one nobody talks about. You can eat the perfect breakfast, 3 whole eggs, half a cup of oats, timed perfectly around your training, and still get suboptimal results. Why? The problem isn't always what you eat. Sometimes it's what you eat it with. Coffee. Specifically, coffee consumed immediately before or during your egg and oatmeal breakfast. Caffeine in high doses can blunt insulin sensitivity in the short term, meaning the glucose from your oatmeal doesn't get shuttled into your muscles as efficiently. This doesn't mean you need to give up coffee. It means timing matters. Wait 30 to 45 minutes after eating before having your first cup, or have it 30 minutes before eating. That small shift preserves the insulin response that makes oatmeal's carbohydrates work for you instead of against you. The second silent mistake, cooking your eggs in low-quality seed oils, canola, soybean, vegetable oil. These oils oxidize at high heat and introduce inflammatory compounds that partially counteract the anti-inflammatory benefits of the yolk's nutrients. Cook your eggs in butter, ghee, or light olive oil. That's not a minor detail. It's the difference between an anti-inflammatory breakfast and a pro-inflammatory one. And if you're over 40 and you still think you need supplements to build muscle, my next video is going to completely destroy that belief. Because what I found out about how the body responds after 40 is not what anyone is telling you. It's right up there. Don't skip it.